You are listening to the Affirm Your Greatness podcast. Check out the video description for more details.
Ever catch yourself wondering if all that positive thinking stuff is actually, well, real?
Oh yeah,
Like, does it actually hold water?
right.
Well, buckle up, because today we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into the science behind positive affirmations.
As we dig into the book, Affirm Your Greatness, Harnessing the Power of Positive Affirmations, written by Dennis of DennisMotivates.com.
I'm intrigued.
We're cracking open this book I found, Affirm Your Greatness, and let me tell you, it does not hold back. They're making some pretty bold claims, saying affirmations are way more than just some feel-good fluff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the best part is they actually back it up with some seriously compelling scientific evidence, which is what we're all about.
Absolutely. It's one thing to say something can work, but understanding the why behind it, that's what makes it truly powerful.
100%. So let's get into it. Where do they even begin with all of this? Well, they actually dive right into the psychology of it all, which I found fascinating.
Okay, I like where this is going.
It all ties back to this idea from cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT.
Sure, yeah.
CBT highlights this really important connection between our thoughts, feelings, and ultimately our actions. And positive affirmations, they actually fit perfectly into this framework.
I see where you're going with this.
Because they help us challenge those sometimes pesky negative thoughts that pop into our heads, and then actually replace them with more empowering ones.
Yeah.
Almost like we're consciously choosing a more positive, more supportive filter to see the world through.
Oh, I love that. So it's not just about forcing ourselves to be happy all the time, it's more about reframing those negative thought patterns, those things that we tell ourselves that might not even be true.
Exactly. We're basically hitting the reset button on those old, unhelpful thought patterns.
Okay, this is making a lot of sense. So how does this reset actually happen in our brains?
Can you unpack that a little for us?
So speaking of rewiring our brains, the book mentions this whole other concept called neuroplasticity.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'll admit, it sounds a little intimidating.
Neuroplasticity is basically the brain's amazing ability to change and adapt throughout our entire lives. It's actually pretty incredible when you think about it.
Really? I thought we were kind of stuck with the brain we were born with after a certain point. Have you ever noticed how if you walk over the same patch of grass over and over again, it creates a path?
Nope. Every time we learn something new, have a new experience, even just think a certain thought, new neural connections are being formed. Yeah.
The more you use a specific neural pathway, the more ingrained it becomes.
That's essentially what's happening in your brain.
Wow, so we're literally reshaping our brains with our thoughts.
It is pretty amazing, right?
It is. It's actually kind of empowering when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely. It gives us so much more agency than we realize.
100%. So there's one more term from the book I wanted to ask you about, and it's this idea of self-affirmation theory.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard of this one?
It's actually a key part of why affirmations are so powerful. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm ready to be enlightened.
Essentially, self-affirmation theory suggests that as humans, we have this deep-seated need to maintain a positive self-image.
I mean, that makes sense.
And affirmations, they actually tap directly into this primal need that we have. It's kind of in our nature to want to see ourselves in a positive light.
Okay, right.
It's like we're giving ourselves a boost of confidence from the inside out. By repeating these positive statements about ourselves, we're constantly reinforcing our core values, our beliefs, our strengths.
So we're basically strengthening our own self-belief.
They actually cite a study in the book that showed self-affirmations. Get this, they light up the reward centers in our brain. And this is where it gets really interesting. Exactly.
Whoa, really?
There's an actual measurable physical impact happening in our brains. So it's not just about a fleeting moment of feeling good. It's similar to the feeling you get when you, I don't know, enjoy a delicious meal or listen to your favorite music.
You know, I have to admit, I used to think this whole affirmation thing was a little, I don't know.
A little out there. It's making it all feel so much more, I don't know, tangible.
Maybe, yeah, but learning about the actual science behind it, it's definitely making me rethink things.
Oh, absolutely. It takes it out of the realm of just wishful thinking and brings it into concrete evidence.
Exactly. And you know me, I'm all about practical application. What I really loved is that the book actually provides a bunch of examples of affirmations that we can actually start using, like specific ones for, I don't know, confidence or stress reduction or relationships, like all sorts of areas of life. So I'm curious, out of those examples, was there one that particularly resonated with you?
There was one that really stood out to me. It's, I am constantly growing and evolving into a better version of myself.
Ooh, I like that one.
I love that because it emphasizes this idea that we talked about earlier about neuroplasticity and how we're always capable of changing and growth no matter what.
I love that. I'm going to have to write that one down. For me, I think my go-to would have to be, I am calm, centered, and in control of my emotions. Yes.
Especially these days, right?
Right. Who couldn't use a little more of that?
Exactly. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, that shift in our internal dialogue, it can actually have a really powerful impact on how we deal with stress.
So it's not just about repeating a phrase, it's about really believing it, internalizing it, right?
Exactly. And that's the beauty of it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap things up.
Yeah. The big takeaway here. Let's hear it. Affirmations. They're not just some mystical secret. There's real legitimate science backing them up. 100%. And that makes them all the more potent and effective.
It's empowering, because now we understand the why. The real question is, what one small affirmation are you going to try incorporating into your life today?
You have just listened to the Affirm Your Greatness podcast. Check out the video description for more details and stay tuned for more episodes. Thanks.